In this video, we are going to be talking about finding jobs in Power BI. That's right, we are going to be talking about finding jobs in Power BI. And the reason why I know we're going to be talking about finding jobs in Power BI because we're going to be using a job portal that I personally created using artificial intelligence. Now, before we get started, I want you to do what? Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. I am Tarad, the CTO, and today we are going to be talking about finding jobs in Power BI. Before we start talking about finding jobs in Power BI, one thing that maybe a couple of things that I want to talk about first is why are you waiting? What are you really waiting for to get into Power BI? You're saying, hey, I didn't go to school. I didn't go to school to be a computer scientist or a computer programmer. Is that something that's holding you back from becoming that person that is trying to get in the technology realm, but you're not necessarily confident, you're not sure about yourself, you're not even sure about what technology you want to use, and you just happen to stop by and you heard about this Power BI thing. So what I would tell you is this. The first thing I would do is I would go through, I guess I'd do a shameless plug, I would go through my YouTube channels, my YouTube videos first, okay? The videos are free. And these are the exact same videos that I use in my class called Power of the BI. These are the exact same videos that I use in my class called Power of the BI, where I train my students how to become Power BI experts within 16 weeks, 4 months, 16 weeks. Now, with that said, some take a little longer, some actually move a little quicker, but on pace, you're right at about 16 weeks to become a Power BI expert and being able to go out there and get six-figure opportunities. But here's the deal. The first thing, what I would say do is go through my YouTube videos because they're totally free. It's like free education, okay? I'm not gonna beat that dead horse. The other thing is, what I would do is attend my free webinar. I hold a webinar every week. I hold a free webinar every week, free Power BI webinar. All you have to do is attend and you get access to who? Moi. That's right, you get access to myself, moi, me. Okay, I think moi is Italian or Spanish or French or something. I don't know. It might be a word that I just made up. I'm not totally sure. But the bottom line is you get access to myself for about 90 minutes and we talk Power BI. I do a webinar and I ask questions, I answer questions. Of course, you're not going to become a Power BI expert in 90 minutes, but it will give you some idea of what Power BI is, what Power BI does, and who's out there participating in the Power BI fields. But I don't want you to feel like you are not good enough, that you cannot learn quick enough, that you do not have the tech savvy, the tech skill set to learn Power BI. Because even myself, when I first got into Power BI, I was not considered to be I was not what they considered to be tech savvy, okay? What I did was I hunkered down and I said I wanted to learn. And if you want to learn, if you want to spend some time, and if you want to learn, hey, right here is where you can do it. Okay, Power BI basically is a Microsoft tool. Power BI is a Microsoft tool. Just like Microsoft PowerPoint, Excel, Publisher, Word, those types of tools, Power BI is actually, it's just a tool. It's just another Microsoft application. The caveat to Power BI is that it's primarily a business tool. When I say primarily, I'm talking about 99.99999% of the time, it is a business tool, okay? And you know, when we look at Microsoft Word and Excel, Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, you know, those tools, those applications, we can use those for personal uses. Now, we can use Power BI for personal use too, especially if we have small businesses. But at the end of the day, Power BI is a business tool. Now, Tarad, why are you beating that dead horse? Why are you continuously saying that Power BI is a business tool? Because Word, Excel, PowerPoint, we have to pay for those. Okay, we pay for those. We either pay for those in our Office 365 accounts or we pay for them individually. We have to pay for them as software that we install. If we go to the store and we buy the actual disk, if you're still buying disk, or if you go to a website and you buy it and you download it, or if you're paying an annual subscription or a monthly subscription, the bottom line is you're paying for it. Whereas with Power BI, you don't pay for it. Power BI Desktop is totally free. Again, let me say it. Power BI Desktop is totally free. Maybe you didn't understand what I said that way. Let me say it a different way. It is free to get access to Power BI Desktop, where you can create Power BI reports on your computer, on your desktop, for no cost. Now, you say, well, Tari, why is Power BI Desktop free if they're selling Microsoft Excel and PowerPoint and Word and stuff like that? Because they want us as Power BI developers, they want to get as many Power BI developers in the game as possible to make this thing explode to the point to where Power BI becomes the dominant data analytic tool of choice of all businesses, right? So that's why they give away Power BI. Well, now I don't work for Microsoft. I don't own stock in Microsoft. I may own stock in Microsoft, depending. I'm not sure, but I don't work for Microsoft. So no one at Microsoft ever told me this, but it only makes sense. It only makes sense. They want to flood the market. Well, let me say this. If they flood the market with Power BI, you get more developers that have access that can learn it for free, and then they can take their skills, they can take that skill set to corporations, just as what I'm teaching you to do, or what I could be teaching you to do if you were one of the students in my class, to where you can learn Power BI, you can develop that as a skill set. You can take it to different companies, take it to the company you work for, take it to other companies you may be getting opportunities to work for, and saying, hey, I have knowledge, skill, and expertise in Power BI. And now those companies can go and they can purchase different levels of Power BI. And what does that do? That makes Microsoft more money. Now, I'm not here to push Microsoft as a company, as a stock, or to help Microsoft make more money. I'm here to help you make more money. I'm here to make you make more money. And you being able to make more money, one way in order for you to make more money is for you to develop a skill set that is in high demands at this time. And that skill set is Power BI. So if you are looking for a tech to get into and you're not totally sure what tech you want to get into, I am going to encourage you to get into Power BI because one, it's in high demand, and two, there's a lot of money that can be made. You say, well, Tarad, how much money can you make in Power BI? One, you can make, I'm gonna say low six figures. When I say low six figures, I'm talking about $105,000 to $110,000. There are some jobs that are out there that's gonna be lower, that can be lower, but there can also be jobs out there that can be higher. So that range, if I had to guess, I would say that coming out of my course, Power of the BI, you should be making somewhere between $100,000 to $110,000 a year. Now, I don't suggest you take money less than that, and I really don't encourage you to take salaries higher than that. The reason why I say don't take salaries less is because, you will really, you will be undervaluing yourself if you take, you'll be undervaluing your skill set if you take an amount less. If you take an amount more, it's going to put you into a situation to where you could be expected to know more than what you really have, and put you into a level to where the demands become so high so quick that it can get you frustrated. It can get you caught up on the job to where you may be asked to do some things you're really not ready for. So what I do know is right at about the $105,000, $110,000 range, coming out of my course, that is where you should be. Anyway, I am not going to beat that dead horse much longer. We are going to go over and we are going to look at a job portal that I created using artificial intelligence, and I legitimately created this job portal. So here's the deal. I would normally update, well, not I, but my AI agent would normally update this portal, I believe twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays. On Mondays and Wednesdays, typically, I believe I had it scheduled for this job portal to be updated using artificial intelligence. However, to be totally transparent with you, I did shut down adding new jobs until the end of this month. And the reason why is this. I'll be totally transparent with you again. I was knocking down and bringing in so many jobs. I was bringing in so many jobs and had that agent working so hard that the platform that I'm using to build out my agent and to build out my job portal, it started charging me more money. It was like, look, you're doing too much. You know, if you want to go out there and you want to find all these jobs for individuals, or find all of these different jobs and post them and things like that, you are going to have to upgrade your service, upgrade your pricing platform, your pricing service. And I said, I don't want to do that. I don't want to upgrade my pricing platform. So what I did was I shut that bad boy down, because what I do know is I'll be able to offer you even better service than what I'm offering here, and not have to pay as much money to the actual platform that I was using. So what I'm going to do is, we've got so many jobs here, is that I'm still going to be able to go through my job portal and show you what's going on here. But at the end of the day, you are not going to outpace the jobs that I already have, right? So what I want to show you is that I am providing jobs within the job portal on a weekly basis, and I'll be having videos just like this once a week, going through the job of the day, or the top 2 or 3 jobs of the day, just depending on how far we get. I don't really want to make this video much longer than about 25-30 minutes. So what I am going to do is I'm going to go through 1, 2, or 3 jobs. We're going to look at it. I'm going to show you that these are real jobs, and that you have direct access to this job portal. The only thing is, all you have to do is subscribe to my weekly newsletter. Subscribe to my weekly newsletter, and in the newsletter, you'll have access to the link to the weekly job portal. Now, what I will say is, don't join the weekly newsletter and then get the link to the job portal and then stop becoming a user of the weekly newsletter, which I'm sure you won't. But at the end of the day, the link does change. It's not going to be a static link. It is going to be a dynamic link that will change. So this will give you access to the weekly newsletter. Now, so as you can see, what we have in the job portal here, we've got the date, we've got the URL title, we've got the URL link. I've got a clickbait headline, and basically the only thing clickbait headline is just the title that I use for the headline of my posting that I do post on my LinkedIn. So I do post, a job of the day or a job of the week or something like that inside of LinkedIn. But again, the posting won't, I stopped using the posting. The posting won't start back to the end of the month. But it's just the clickbait headline, whatever you want to call it, is there. The salary range, the summary, the work location is all what you will be able to use. Now, in the URL link, you're gonna say, hey, well, you're using ZipRecruiter, you're using Monster, if Monster is still a thing, so my AI agent goes out and finds the jobs in different portals. It may be in ZipRecruiter, it may be at different company websites, it may be Indeed. It doesn't matter. It goes out and it finds Power BI jobs. The main thing here is all we are finding are Power BI jobs. So you can go to ZipRecruiter if you want. You can go to Indeed if you want. But if you're looking for Power BI, there's no need to go to different other sites, because I am focusing all our attention on Power BI jobs, so that I can talk to you about where those jobs are, how to get those jobs, how to create your resume to be attractive for those jobs. And if you're looking for different locations being remote, on-site, or hybrid, hey, we are going straight to the source, okay? So what I want to do here is we have we've gone through, we've pulled up our site, and basically, again, we're looking at the actual job portal. Again, this is not something fancy. This is a job portal that I created. At the end of the day, you're not looking for, all bells and whistles. When you're looking for a job, when you're trying to get that 6-figure opportunity, you are trying to go straight to the source. Now, I want you to pay attention to the first job that's up here. It's on the date December 17th, and it says Power BI developer. The salary range is $75,000 to $120,000. Again, as I said before, there will be times where the job range may be less than $100,000. There could be times where the job range, well, 100, it could be the job range 105 to 110,000 is what we're aiming for. Here is showing that the salary range for this first job is $75,000 to $120,000. Again, I don't suggest anyone in my course, when you complete my course, I don't suggest you take anything less than 100. Today, I don't suggest that you take anything less than 105. I don't suggest you take anything less than 110. And as you can see, in the salary range of the first job, it is definitely less, where the range starts less than 105, which is at 75,000, and it goes up to 120,000. I've got some idea of what's going to be in this job, but at the end of the day, or what could be expected in this job, but at the end of the day, again, I don't want you to take anything less than what you are valued, what your actual value is. If you're interested in learning Power BI and you want real-time access to an instructor, join my weekly webinar. Every Thursday I have a weekly webinar. Well, let me kind of correct that a little bit. So here's the deal. Of course, life happens. So things may happen. And we may not have it on Thursday. It may happen on a Wednesday or a Friday or a Tuesday. But the one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a heads up and say, hey, we're not going to be meeting this week. We're going to be meeting today or that day of this week because something happened. But at the end of the day, look at it like this. Every Thursday from 7:30 p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm holding a weekly webinar. It's a free weekly webinar. There's no tricks, there's no gimmicks, there's no gadgets. It's totally free. What I do is I go through what Power BI is, what Power BI does, and who Power BI is for. Then I give you a demonstration of a Power BI example for the week, and then questions. We open it up to questions and answers, right? And you're free to ask anything in regards to Power BI. That could be how to create reports. That could be where's the best job markets. That could be how much money can I legitimately expect to make. That could be if I get on a job and get stuck, how do I get help? How do I get assistance? All of that is offered in my weekly webinar every Tuesday, well, not every Tuesday, but every Thursday from 7:30 to 9 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you there. Just scoot over just a little bit because I don't feel centered. Okay, yeah, I feel centered right here. I didn't feel centered initially. But what I did was I clicked into the actual job. And we see that the job is a Power BI job. It is, if we look over to the top right, it says, well, we look over to the left, it says the job is an actual remote job. It is in Orange. I want to believe that's going to be Orange County. I'm going to look on my computer because the screens here, the text is a little small for me, but I believe the job is probably, yeah, it's in Orange, California, which is probably Orange County, California. It is a remote job, and this job is coming actually from. I want to believe that this job is coming all care to you. I want to believe that this job is probably coming directly from the actual employer, the actual hiring company, as opposed to coming from one of the recruiting sites. But we will have jobs that will be coming from the recruiting sites, and we'll be having jobs coming from directly from the employer. So again, this is something else that is an advantage to what we've got here at the CTO is our jobs. Some of these jobs are coming directly from the hiring site, which you're not going to be able to find on Indeed, or you're not going to be able to find on LinkedIn because, well, not LinkedIn, well, actually, maybe on LinkedIn, but on ZipRecruiter. I'm not sure if ZipRecruiter or Indeed have access to direct sites to show you the direct hiring company. But needless to say, here we are looking directly at the hiring. I believe it's directly at the hiring company. It says all care to you. So that makes sense to me. About the company, let's see, it tells us, gives us a little bit, just like in many of the job portals, it tells us a little bit about the company. And it tells us the management services organization providing our clients with healthcare administrative support. So we know that this is a healthcare company. Off top, I already know this is a healthcare organization. We provide services to independent physician associations, TPAs, and physical intermediary clients. ACTY is a modern, growing company which encourages diverse perspectives. So that's all I need to know about this company. I know it's a healthcare company. Outside of that, I don't really care what else they do, right? They say they got diversity or something like that and diverse perspectives. That's cool. I mean, you need data analysts, you need business analysts, you need Power BI developers. You got your boy, okay? You got me. Here I am. So that could be you. Could have you got your boy, you got your girl, whatever you want to have. You know, whoever you are, you know, whatever you call yourself, it's all good. I'm cool with whatever you want to do in 2026. But at the end of the day, we see what About Us is, and it's a Power BI developer job. It's in Orange, California, and it's a healthcare organization. Cool. What is the purpose? So it says Power BI job purpose. Power BI developer will design, develop, and maintain robust data reporting systems using Power BI, SSRS, and SQL. Now, what that tells me is the first thing that caught me, it said it uses SQL, which would be use a SQL Server. And of course, in my course, Power of the BI, I do teach you the basics of SQL that you will need in order to be successful in Power BI. Again, I teach you the basics of what you need in order to be successful in Power BI. Now, the reason why I skipped over SSRS, because if you don't know, SSRS is SQL Server Reporting Studio. And no, it's not Studio. SQL Server Reporting Services, not Studio. SSRS is SQL Server Reporting Services, which is the precursor to Power BI. It was what Microsoft was using initially, or what they put out there initially, in order to have create data visualization. And of course, Power BI is a data visualization tool. So let's see. Let's go back to that again. So it's a data visualization tool. And by it being a data visualization tool, I do know that Power BI is the update to SSRS. It is by far, it's like SSRS on triple steroids, right? So where I'm going with that is they are not going to be using SSRS and Power BI. Now they could be converting SSRS reports to Power BI, but at the end of the day, they're not going to be using SSRS and Power BI. It just doesn't make sense, right? It just doesn't make sense. That's a whole other conversation. But here, we're looking here at the next job. We're looking at job number 2. BMO Capital Markets seeks a lead Power BI, and it's on site. Now, what that tells me, well, what I'm getting just off of the summary is that BMO Capital is a financial institution. That's what I'm believing, that it's a financial institution. We see up top that here, right under the lead Power BI developer, that BMO is in Chicago, Illinois. It's on site. The salary range is $74,000 to $138,000 a year. Again, as I said before, the salary range that we're trying to stay within, we're not trying to have a wide range of $74,000 to $138,000. We want to stick that thing right at $105,000 to $110,000. Now, just by you seeing that this salary range can be as high as $138,000, what that should tell you is with some experience on the job, there's an opportunity for you to be able to grow at a faster pace than in most other professions. Let me say that a different way. You can give yourself a raise in Power BI within about 6 months to a year, 2 years. You can go from $105,000 a year to $140,000 a year within about, I'm gonna say 2 years. You should be pretty comfortable. Now, what we did see in that other position, that position was already, it was no longer available. So when you come to my portal, what I'm going to be doing on a daily basis is I'm going to be going through and reviewing jobs, and those that are canceled, that are no longer available, I'm going to X those out. The reason why I just haven't started doing it, so that I just did this first one, but I'm going to start Xing those jobs out so that you can see that those jobs are no longer available. But at the same time, I'm not going to delete them, because you may want to click those jobs because to just contact the company and say, hey, have you really hired someone? Or the job, it may not have worked out, or they may have canceled it, not because someone was hired, but they just taken it off of their opportunity board within the organization for a certain period of time. Now, this next job that we are looking at is, let's see, a senior Power BI developer, 110,000 to 120,000. ACES seeks senior Power BI developer. So what I'm getting here is that the company is a company called ACES. I am going to go to my portal, and I can see that in my portal it's on the ZipRecruiter platform. So I am going to just go through here and see. I see now that it's in San Diego, California. It's on site and is listed as remote. On site and remote could mean a couple of things. It could say that they want somebody remote to San Diego, or it could be somebody that's remote to anywhere in the world. Now, the reason why they could want someone that's remote but lives in San Diego is because you have the opportunity to be remote, but they may need you to come into the office on a periodic basis, or they may want to have access to you coming into the office on a periodic basis. Who is ACES? Again, the mission. ACES is a rapidly growing company of custom services that is dedicated to enhancing the quality of life for individuals and families impacted with autism or other special needs. So off that first sentence, I see that it's a company that specializes in autism with special needs services. So that's the type of company it is. I could keep reading, but at the end of the day, is it a Power BI job? It says that it's a Power BI job. It says the job summary: we are seeking a highly skilled, experienced senior Power BI developer to lead the design, development, and deployment of enterprise-grade business and intelligence solutions. So what are they looking for? They're looking for a Power BI developer. They're looking for a Power BI developer. And that's who we are. We are Power BI developers. So it says the key development and implementation. Design and implement advanced Power BI dashboards and reports. Yep, that's what we do. Build and optimize semantic data models using DAX and Power Query M. Yes, that's what we do. And we do, that's inside of Power of the BI. We teach you, or I teach you, or some of my guests will teach you DAX and Power Query and M. Integrate data with diverse sources, including Microsoft Fabric components. Now, Microsoft Fabric is a little bit more advanced than just Power BI, just a little bit more advanced than Power BI, but it is a skill set that we touch on, but not necessarily build on. That's a whole nother course. But it is something that we touch on because Microsoft Fabric is important in today's market when it comes to understanding the integration with Power BI. Development and implementation. So here, just real quick, we got design for development and implementation, design, implement, and advanced Power BI dashboards, yep, and data analysis and reporting, analyze complex data sets. So basically, we're saying the same thing. At the end of the day, what I'm showing you here is this is a Power BI portal that's going to be used on a daily basis within my weekly newsletter. It's not something that you're going to find anywhere else in the world because it's specific to me, it's specific to Power the BI, it's specific to the CTO. Because what the CTO created using artificial intelligence. And not to say that these jobs are not anywhere else, but what I do is I bring these jobs together just for my loyal community, my tribe that's going to be out there, that is out here in utilizing Power the BI and a part of our weekly newsletter. Again, if you're interested in learning Power BI, the first thing I would tell you to do is check out my videos. The first thing I would do is ask you to do is check out my videos because I'm giving away tons of free information, Is there a course that you can pay for somewhere down the line? Of course there is, right? But what I'm saying is check out the videos. You may not even need to pay for the course. Just check out the videos and learn as much as you can. Ingest as much of that as you can, right? And then participate in the weekly webinar. The weekly webinar is free access to me, where you'll have access to asking real-time questions in regards to what Power BI is, what Power BI does, and who Power BI is for. It gives you real-time access. I don't know anyone else out there that's giving you real-time access to Power BI on a weekly, real-time access to understanding who Power BI is, what Power BI does, and who Power BI is for on a weekly basis, right? Join my weekly webinar. Subscribe to my weekly newsletter. Now, before we leave again, what I want you to do is like this video, subscribe to this channel. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. With that said, this brings us to the end of this video. Thank you for joining in, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.